Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaye Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Namah Pranavarthaye Shuddha Jnanaikamurtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaye Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Bhadram Karne Vishruniyama Devaha Bhadram Pashye Makshabhir Yajatraha Tirairangai Shushtvagum Sastanuvihi Vyashema Devahitan Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vridhashrabaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti nastarkshyo Arishtanemihi Swasti no Brahaspatir Dadatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Happy Pongal to everybody. Sankaranti, Lori, one festival again that is celebrated across the Indian subcontinent, not perhaps in Pakistan, but Nepal and other places, because basically harvest festival. Everywhere this is. Like we have in the south, a tradition of feeding birds tomorrow. In Nepal also they have a similar tradition of feeding crows. Interesting. What are the three things that a human being most desires? True for any human being. Perhaps true for every being. One is survival of the Sthula Sukshma Sharira. I don't want to die. There is a fear of death. There are people who will argue that there is no reincarnation. We invent reincarnation to overcome the fear of death. Clearly, there's a lack of understanding there. When do we have this fear of not losing this Sharira? When our total identification is with the Sharira. I don't want to lose the Sharira. I want to exist. We have been discussing this in the past, that I know I exist. But equally, I also know that the I thought I am, which exists, is not going to exist forever. This I will be destroyed. Nobody has to teach me that. I see it all around me. And I don't want it. I know that person died, but I don't want it. I don't want to lose the Sharira. So I make every effort to continue to exist. If I find that the body is deteriorating a little bit, first signals that it is going towards destruction, I start worrying. I start doing exercises. I start taking additional vitamins. There's a huge market for health supplements. How effective they are, what they do, we don't know. But everybody is trying that. Forever, human beings are searching for an elixir, something that will perpetuate this Sharira. And then sometimes people will argue that you say you go to another loka, but Swami G, will it take the same Sharira? Sorry. If Sharira goes, the Sharira will either be buried or burned. That Sharira gets back to its origin. So even if you go to another loka, you're not going to have the Sharira. So one of the biggest three human wants is to be. And is to be irrespective of how long I am. Therefore, every effort I make is to somehow, if not perpetuate, prolong this body. My identification with this body is complete. Even though logically you can prove that you continue to exist after the body falls. You can logically prove that this body cannot be I. But that stranglehold that this so-called knowledge is there, I am this Sharira, will drive me towards perpetuating, towards an attempt to perpetuate the Sharira. That existence, easiness, the body is. Easiness is correct, but where you attach the easiness is where we have a problem. This body, this mind, these Sukshma Sharira, I want them to be forever. That is the first of the many, of the three main human desires. I want to exist. The second of these, I don't want to be called stupid. I want to feel I have no ignorance. I perpetually seek knowledge. One is somebody else calling me stupid. Another is I knowing that I have very limited knowledge. What I'm looking for is more and more and more and more of knowledge. In a desperate attempt to remove the idea, the thought that I am ignorant. I make every attempt to learn more, to prove to others that I know more. on a scale of 1 to infinity, I can never say I know everything. This people who work in great depth on one subject eventually understand. A great botanist, great Nobel Prize winner, hailed as the botanist of all time. What do they call these days? GOAT. Greatest of all time. The more he knows he doesn't know. The more he knows, the more he understands there is so much more to know. And you want to prove it to others and to yourself. I know. In any discussion, whether it's in a drawing room or in any other place, most of the times we are not listening to what others have to say. I want to prove that I know. Prove to myself. And however much I strive, just like in the case of my desire for existence, I know in my heart of heart that this Sharira will not be forever. I see people popping off every now and then, their Sharira giving up. One of the reasons in the past, the so-called old age homes were not popular. Because every day you get a reminder, because somebody's body is falling, that your body also going to go. When you go to the Smashan Ghat, cremation grounds, to cremate somebody whom you knew well, all kinds of thoughts run in one's head. This is going to happen to me one day. I know it. How can I prevent it? How can I extend it? The same thing applies to knowledge. I know that I don't know. And in every new knowledge that I gather, there is additional proof of this fact. So I'm anxiously gathering more and more and more knowledge. Useless knowledge, but knowledge. One of the reasons why Google and the internet has become so popular is this human desire to know. And then you go into Google and find there is so much there that I cannot know all of them. Forget about knowing all of them. I can't even sift them and say what is knowledge, what is not knowledge. Driven by this human desire to know, to be not ignorant. So to one, to exist and be, and two, to know, to feel that I know. That I am not subject to ignorance. First is, I want to know I am not subject to death of this body. Second, I am not ignorant. And the third category where every human being strives is to be happy. I want to be happy. So I strive harder and harder, desperately looking for something which will give me happiness, which I think will give me happiness. Desperately looking for some relationships which I think will give me happiness. Some object which I think will give me happiness. Some process which I think will give me happiness. I never stop. I want to not just be happy alone, but I want to be conscious of that happiness. When you sleep, you are Ananda Swarupa. You will see that one of the later verses. You are happy, but you're not conscious of the fact that you're happiness. Swami, that kind of happiness is okay for a short while, but that's not what I want. I want to be happy and aware of the fact that I'm happy. I want to be awareful. One of the prayers we have every day, Asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityor ma amritangamaya. Mrityor amritangam, amritam. May I go toward amritam, no mritam. May I go from ignorance, tamas, to jnanam, knowledge. If anything that I do here, the karma that I do, the family that I raise, the wealth that I generate, when I recognize that what I'm looking for is these three things, existence, knowledge, and ananda, then all of these other things become meaningless. When I understand this, when I understand that my quest is for existence, knowledge, and ananda, and I also recognize that karma is not going to get me there. I keep striving, doing something, doing. I get some kind of a comfort. I generate a lot of wealth. Nobody lets me even contemplate that dhanam is not what I want. They will make sure that when such a thought arises, they'll hit it on the head. Around you, everybody will do that. Hey, don't be a fool. I'm not a fool. You're acting like one. For a beginner, you're doing very good as a fool. But the day that recognition comes, none of these matter. Therefore, Swami G tells Arshavidyalaya, having told him the means to Brahma Vidya, the means to Brahma Vidya, he said, is Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana Yoga Avehi. Having told him that, then he tells him what will not get you Brahma Vidya. Na karmana, just chant. Na karmana, na prajaya,
na prajaya,
dhanena,
anena,
tyage naike,
tyage naike,
amritattvamanashuhu,
ātmatattva manashu
parenanakam
parenanakam
nihitam guhayam
nihitam guhayam
vibrajate
vibhrajate
yad yatayo vishanti
yad yadayo vishanti
vedanta vijnana
vedanta vijnana
sunishchitarthaha
sunishchitarthaha
sannyasa yogat
sannyasa yoga
yataya shuddha sattvaha
yadayat suddha sattvaha
te brahmalokeshu
te brahmalokeshu
parantakale
parantakale
paramritat
paramritat
parimuchanti sarve.
parimucyanti sarve.
Told Ashwalayana and through Ashwalayana all of us, this sadhya sadhana, what is to be gained in Brahma Vidya? And it is to be gained, as we saw, through Shraddha, Bhakti, Dhyana Yoga. Na karmana, na prajaya, na dhanena. Once we understand what I am striving for, and then it becomes clear to me that this dhanam, praja, karma, all these will give me something, but this is not what I want. This does not satisfy a human need. Not that these are bad. But if you were looking for Brahma Vidya, na karmana, na prajaya, dhanena. Na karmana, na prajaya, na dhanena. Then how? Tyagena eke amrutattvam praptuvantaha. Tyaga is what? Nyasa. Common translation is renunciation. But renunciation often leaves behind a sense that I have given up something which I like, which I want. You can't say that I'm walking, there's a stone there, I have given up the stone. Renunciation implies, in common usage, giving up that which I like, which I think I want. That is not tyaga. That leaves behind a longing. It might actually make life worse. At least I had some comfort by gaining some of those things. Now I have given them up. My mind is always there. You know what all I gave up? And then there's a question mark. Did I do the right thing? Did I giving up that? I had so much wealth. I could have done so much. If not for myself, I could have done. I've done them. I could have done so much good work. Did I do the right thing by tyaga? That is not tyaga we're talking about. Tyaga nikhila shrauta smartha karma parityagam. Karma parityagam. The feeling that I don't know, how do I get rid of that feeling? The feeling that I'm subject to unhappiness, how do I get rid of that feeling? Only when I understand that karma, praja, dhanam, all of these have no relationship to what I'm looking for. Then what happens? I have vairagya. I don't throw away dhanam. If dhanam comes, I take it, use it for what is good. I buy myself some basic comforts. I do karma. Veda tells me to do certain karma. I won't have some desire for something for which I have to do karma. And I like the idea of people around me, praja. Elsewhere in the Shastra, it will say, you have three kind of ashanas. Lokeshana, that I want after this body falls, which I know it will eventually, I would like to go to another good loka. Lokeshana. Putreshana. I know I can't have the sharira forever. But can I live my life vicariously through my progeny? And with Taishana, the desire for wealth for security purposes. I want wealth because I think it gives me not only some comfort, but also some security. It is like saying that I have broken my foot. Therefore, I want crutches. Hey, what you really want is to get rid of the crutches. You don't want the crutches for yourself. Crutches is okay immediately because you don't want to put pressure on that foot which is hurting. But what you really want is to get rid of the crutches. All these form crutches. Sometimes desperate crutches. In many ways, Shastras try to tell us this. Told you 3 types of Vaishnava. We've all looked at what are the 3 Purusharthas, 4 Purusharthas. 4th is not even a Purushartha. I want the 3 Purusharthas. Artha, Kama, Dharma. Because I don't understand moksha. I don't understand this Artha, Kama, Dharma are there for, I want to get for moksha. Therefore, I want Artha, Dhanam, Kama, call it Praja, Dharma, Vaidika Karma in order to get Loka, vocation. So many ways Shastra tries to tell us. It doesn't go in. Even if it looks like it goes in the classroom or on the net, as we are today. Once the class is over, we've said Purnamada, Purnamidam. Everything is okay. After I tell you, you have a pretty good idea what you want. How do you stop this rushing back? How do you gain vairagyam? Do Shravanam again and again and again. Till when, Swami G? Till you know. Karmana, na prajaya, na dhanena, amrtatvam manashuhu. What is this amrtatvam? The feeling, it is not even that my body will fall. the feeling that my body will fall, and I don't know how to prevent it. And because the body will fall, I think I will fall. That's the end of I. The feeling that I will never be all knowledge. The feeling that I am ignorant. It is not even that I am ignorant. The feeling that I am continue to be ignorant, and I will continue to be ignorant. After the botanist has learned everything about all the flowers, he picks on one flower and works deeper and deeper and deeper into that. At the end of which, he says, there is so much more to know. Therefore, that feeling that I will continue to be ignorant, irrespective of what the world tries to tell me, you are better than all of us. You are a Nobel Prize winner. In that particular area, you know a lot. But what I know, because I know a lot, is that there is so much more to know. Outside, somebody looking at him might say, wow, he knows everything. But the fellow knows that there is so much more to know. And like Arjuna, that I am subject to unhappiness. I do everything in my power to find that happiness in so many things. Amritattvam is when I can get rid of this feeling. Amritattvam is not, Mrita is death, and we normally associate with death of the body. Therefore, Amritattvam is that which is the state where the body does not die. That's how we look at it. But Amritattvam is when this feeling that I am not going to be existent, that I continue to be ignorant, that I continue to be subject to unhappiness. Getting rid of that feeling is Amritattvam. That Amritattvam is the state. Becomes your Ananda Swarupa. Recognition of myself as Sat Chit Ananda. That Sat Chit Ananda Brahman Aham-asmi. Then none of these exist after that. The fear of non-existence is not happening. The fear of ignorance is not happening. The fear of being unhappy is not happening. Bhashyakara says, avidyadi marana bhava rahityam. All arising out of ignorance. Wrong notion that fill my head. When I can get rid of those wrong notions, which is the root cause of these problems, the entire brood that comes with avidya disappears. That tyagena eke amrtattvam anushuhu. They've gained. Who has gained? Those who have understood this through tyaga. Because they've understood all this, they do not have any value for. Like our famous boat. You remember my boat, which became so precious to me at one stage in life. Not a big yacht, okay? Small, 1 rupee boat. At one time was precious to me. And then later when I re-examined, I said, my God, what an ignorant fool I was. that attach so much value to something which is valueless. That, I don't know if we still have the here or like that we have in everything in life. An attachment to something which you recognize as being valueless. The biggest of that is dhanam. Dhanena na prapnuvanti. Only when you recognize that is not what I want, that is not going to get me what I want, all I do has no relation to what I'm seeking, that chaga, that dropping of the value of that. To me, if I get it, I will still take it. It gives me a little comfort, it gives me a little joy. Apekshika sukham it gives me. But I know that any such sukham I take with a pinch of salt, because I know it is not sukham really. Eke, some people, eke, ātmatattvam prapnuvantaha, have gained. What prevents everybody from gaining that? Many vignas. We constantly keep saying Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti to try and get rid of them. Please calm down those obstacles, push them down. Whether we recognize or not, we say it all the time. I want to gain that ātmatattva. Chagena eke prapnuvanti. Ātmatattvam prapnuvanti. Ke prapnuvanti, eke. Kechit. Chaga is nyasa. Nyasa is another word. We call it sannyasa, samyak. You don't have to wear ochre clothes to be called sannyasi. The very attitude coming through understanding of the relative value of things that you're looking for, of the artha, kama, dharma that you're looking for, that you're seeking, and how their only role is to be an instrument to moksha. But that is what I want. I don't stop seeking because I have gained some dhanam. I don't stop doing because I have done karma. Because I continue to seek. Only when I recognize that that is not what I want. What I want is ātmatattva. And therefore I am not doing tyaga in the normally understood sense. In a sense which always leaves at least a leisure of longing. Like people who go to Rameshwaram or other places where you're supposed to give up something. And you give up something that you like, not some, no, Swami G, I gave up Karela. Why? Because I didn't like Karela. No, something that you like and you think you want. And that will always leave a certain amount of longing. You know, we have dinner somewhere and somebody serves the dish that you love but you've given up because you went to Rameshwaram, Alfonso mango. You can't eat it. Everybody else is eating it. If they didn't know that they given it up, they will eat it. Because the longing is there. But everybody here knows, he's such a great man. He went to Rameshwaram and gave up Alfonso mango. So please don't serve him. Wish I could sneak a few. Longing always. That is not Chada. I know that Alfonso mango will give me some pleasure. I also know that the last time I checked my blood sugar, my random was 250. So that mango I eat today, I have to take another insulin shot. But the longing remains. Ātmatattva Manashuddhi. And who gains this? Parena nakam nihitam guhayam vibrajate yat yatayaha vishanti. Who gains it and how does he gain? So again, okay. That amritattvam. Some people catch it. They've gained. Tat amritattvam yatihi, yatayaha, plural. Yati, Rudi Artha is sannyasi. But look at the Artha, Yat Prayatne is the dhatu. The right effort and the right understanding, Yatta Shilaha, the ones who do the right effort in the right direction, with right understanding, Tat Amrtattvam Parena Nakam. This Nakam is a very interesting word. Kam is come, to come. Kam is to come. And the Virodhi for Sukham was Dukkham. So you put a nunj in Sanskrit, you will say Akam. Kam is Sukham. Akam is Dukkham. And that Dukkham na Akam. Akam is Dukkham. So again you do another negation. Na Akam. Nakam. Nakam is that yatra akam na vidyate, dukkham na vidyate. Yasmin dukkham na vidyate. Nakam. Tikakara says, Svargadi Utkrishtam. Svarga is considered Sukhasthanam. But that which is even beyond Svarga, etc. More than Svarga, etc. Parena Nakam. Beyond Nakam, Svargam. These yatis or you can also call it Parena Param Nakam, Anandam. na dukkham. But parena nakam. Some sukham you can get. But that sukham which is utkrishtam, unlimited sukham, which is sukhaswarupam. Parena nakam. Parena nakam vishanti. We enter that state of ultimate sukham. Who are the yatayaha? Yatayaha, some people, not everybody. We know Bhagavan has told us in the Bhagavad Gita also. Out of the thousands of people, very few make an effort. Because you don't know. People still think that dhanam, that karma, that progeny will be what I'm seeking. They don't know anything more. So they don't make any effort to go beyond that. Even amongst those who make the effort, very few know me. Very few know me as themselves. So if you start a Vedanta class, handful of people will come. The ones who have understood that there is something more to know than karma, praja, and dhamma. But if we do Ramayana class, many more people will come. It's not wrong, correct? Or if you do a special yoga class, thousands will come. Because that is their need. Eke sam yatayaha sannyasi. Sannyasi, like I said, does not mean only wearing ochre. Sannyasi is a sannyasa attitude. The understanding that all of these is not what I am seeking. I will take them as they come. But I have no asakti. They are not going to drive me. If my prarabdha gives some of those, I will take. I don't have to flog myself. Yat ātmatattvam yatayaha vishanti. Ravishanti. Literally meaning enter. But that they understand. And are seeking that Amartattvam through Shraddha Bhakti Yoga. Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana Yoga. When they have understood, this is only knowledge. And the knowledge which separates everybody else from this yati is the dissociation with everything which is part of the mithya jagat. Dissociation, therefore, with the sharira. You have got a sharira because of a prarabdha. That sharira is going to be there with you for the time that is allotted for it. The yati does not go around saying, I don't want the sharira, therefore I'm going to kill the sharira. That is not what it means. Yati understands the sharira has been given because of my own past karma. It has a life of its own. It has a series of experiences that it has to go through. pain and pleasure. And when that is exhausted, the Sharira will fall. But he is already a jnani. That jnanam vibrajate, brajadatu, visheshena swayam prakashatvena pradipyate. That jnanam, that I am that Satchidananda Brahman, nothing to do with this body, mind, sense complex. And that Brahman is Swaprakasha Brahman. I am that Swaprakasha Brahman. I don't need another means of lighting up that. Tvameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. Everything else shines after you, after I. Therefore, it is vibhrajate. Swayam bhati. Swayam asti. Doesn't require any adhara for it. Like everything else in this jagat requires a substantive. Clay requires, plot requires a clay. A golden chain requires gold. I, Satchidananda Brahman, does not require any adhisthana. Swayam bhati, swayam asti. And this jnanam vibrajate kutra guhayam nihitam. Guha is translated as your heart, which is then translated as your buddhi. The jnanam has to shine in your buddhi. Guhayam. Guhayam, because any guha, if you go inside, it is dark. Tamas. Many years ago, when I visited Australia, went to some caves, deep inside. It was so dark, if you could put your finger here, you couldn't see your finger. Pitch dark. Ajnana. In that cave, in that ajnana buddhi, this Swaprakasha deepam lights up. And when the light comes, tamas has no chance. When the light comes, darkness disappears. He says, this vibrajate kutra guhayam nihitam avasthitam. That which is in your own buddhau. Because these yatayaha understood. Therefore, when Brahmaji tells Arshavidyalaya, na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyage naike amritattva manushuhu, Arshavidyalaya understands that these yatayaha gain that knowledge which is shining within them, that knowledge of the amritattva, which will never be destroyed because they're never born, never change. That unchanging avyaya Brahman is I. When they understand that, they don't need to understand anything more. That is the only time the existent buddhi can say, I am no more ignorant. That's why in many places we saw knowing which, that Brahma Vidya, it is as though I know everything. I don't need to know anything else. I have understood Purnatvam. And I've understood that Purnatvam is I. He is the Swarupa of I. What do I need? That is Akrita. No karma is going to get me there. Therefore, na karmana na prajaya dhane na tyage naike amrtatvamanashuhu parena nakam nihitam guhayam vibrajate yadyatayo vishanti. You remind every sannyasi who comes to the Purna Kumbham by chanting this mantra. Not only remind the sannyasi, but you also remind yourself. Hey, he is a yati. He probably knows. Hey, Bhagavan, may I also know. For such a person, more descriptive is given in the next verse, which we will do in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.